Well, unfortunately, we cannot have a deep dive into the feminine and masculine without talking about power, because that's why. The binary categorizes people and organizes power. It's how we decide who leads and who follows, who speaks and who listens, who earns and who supports, who gets softness and who has to pretend they don't need it. So when someone shows up wearing both energies, strong and soft, intuitive and assertive, they collapse the illusion. They say, hey, maybe this whole gender performance thing is just that, a performance? Mulan is dangerous not because she's a good soldier. She's dangerous because she reveals how much of soldiering is just training, how much of masculinity is a script, and how anyone given the right tools and permission can play the part. She threatens the idea that gender is destiny. She threatens the idea that worth is binary. And most of all, she threatens the people who've built their entire identity on being the only ones allowed to lead. So when the mask slips and Mulan is revealed, the praise is ripped away because she might have won, okay, but it seems more important to the system that she disobeyed, not the rules of war, but the very rules of existence. And that's important because we still do this today in a different form, of course, but still right now in real time we're rejecting people who are becoming more whole, people who are figuring out who they really are outside of scripts, outside of binaries, outside of their parents' unfinished business. And instead of saying, wow, look at how complex and full this person is becoming, we say they're ruining everything. I mean, to be fair, from a psychological perspective, that's not a surprising reaction. It's common knowledge that people fear change because it introduces uncertainty. It makes them question their own choices, their own suppression. So of course it's very human to blame the ones who change. We call it confusing, we call it unnatural, we call it a threat to tradition, but really it's just a threat to our comfort. Because let's be honest, this whole thing we're doing where we punish differences and protect sameness like it's sacred, yeah, it's not working and it's not healthy and it's sure as hell not sustainable. Instead of honoring people who become more of themselves, who get louder, gayer, softer, sharper, freer, we act like they're breaking something. But maybe the system needs to break, huh? Don't you think? Let's talk. Maybe the real problem is that the system was never designed to hold complexity. Instead of adapting the system to include more kinds of people, we keep trying to trim people down to fit the system. And then we wonder why everyone's anxious, disconnected, and quietly performing all the time. Come on, guys. We say things like, well, our grandmothers didn't live like this, our grandfathers didn't need all of this, but they also didn't live this life. These times that we're in, this reality, they didn't have this level of visibility, this access to identity and information, this space to question. We're not ungrateful, okay? We're evolving, and in a healthy society, that would be something to celebrate. We would ask, why do we still treat nuance like a liability? Why do we fear complexity like it's going to break the system? Here's a better question though. Why are we still trying to protect a system that only works for a few?